Today on the MrMaple Show Podcast, Tim and Matt count down the top 25 Holy Grail Japanese Maples.
Konnichiwa, y'all, and welcome to the MrMaple Show. We're back with part 3, which is really part 1, right? I mean, this is the
25 to number 1.
This is the pinnacle, 25 through 1 of the Holy Grail Japanese Maples. These are traits that people have been looking for years, and they're exhibited in these top 25 trees. We're all the way down to the 25. If you haven't already, make sure to like and subscribe here on the MrMaple Show. If you're listening to us on a podcast platform, we also do a YouTube video, so subscribe over there. Go to your favorite podcast platform. Give us 5 stars. We'd love to let other people find out about our podcast, especially people into gardening. So if you have friends who are into gardening, don't be afraid to share this podcast with them. That really helps us out.
And if you haven't seen our other podcasts or listened to our other podcasts of 75 through 51 or 50 through 26, go check those out. There's some heavy hitters in there from Hot Chicken, Fairy Hair, Rainbow, some amazing stuff in those podcasts. So go check those out and then come back here and listen to this 25 through number 1.
All right, guys, starting here at number 25, we've got Acer Palmata Mila. Now, this could be in my top 5. It normally is in my top 5. I've got a top 5, and it's normally right outside of that. It is so choice. Mila is one of my all-time favorite Japanese maples. Introduction by our friend Dick Vandermatt. Just so choice.
Yeah, the colors on this are what make Mila exceptional. And it's colorful in the spring where you just get some amazing shades of red, orange, bronze, all in at the same time. You even get a little bit of a yellow-orange hue inside the interior part of the leaf and some chartreuse that really makes this tree pop. And this tree not only looks good during the spring, but during the summer and the summer flush, those intense reds are some of the best of any Japanese maple.
This one is exceptional. It has a more narrow approach to it, and the colors really just keep coming back amazing every single season. That's why this one's on the Holy Grail list. It's a tree that looks great spring, summer, and fall. Absolutely love those summer flushes. Really, one of those trees that has an immaculate spring display as well. I think it should be used more for bonsai. You don't see it for bonsai, but you can put it into that Desojo-like family where that one of the more extremes of that family of like the flower, the foliage is the flower type foliage. I absolutely love Mila though. It brings it. It's high drama. The color is amazing. And had to be on our grail list. It's one, once I saw it, I was in search of it for forever.
I like it because it has that more narrow style habit. We've got one in our gardens at Maplewood Gardens, and it is beautiful. I mean, it grows upwards. It's vigorous. It makes a nice tree out there. But out there in our yard, it's not gotten very wide. It's been very beautiful with its red color, and it just always gives you something spring, summer, or fall.
All right, guys, coming here at number 24, we've got Acer Palmatum Firefly. Now, this one is always in my top 5, so I could argue it a little bit higher up. This is my favorite variegated Japanese maple. It's my favorite reticulated for sure. This one is so unique. I love that reticulated variegation, and I feel like this one changes every single season. I say that a lot, but if you look at this one and you look at it 2 weeks later, it's going to look different. It's got one of the most dramatic of that reticulated, ghost variegated-like styles to it. This one for me is so next level. Again, I think it should be a little higher up on the list. I probably let Tim make too much influence on his list. I think that one could be much higher for me.
Well, Firefly is an amazing tree, and it's a Holy Grail Japanese maple because it just keeps going through some amazing color changes. I mean, you can see the proof in the pudding if you go to the MrMaple Friends group on Facebook and type in Firefly. You're going to find tons of people bragging about Firefly and how good it looks for them in different parts of the season. And it constantly is changing and constantly is evolving in its colors. It's one of the most intense reticulated styles I've ever seen. It's really beautiful. It's really special. And it is a holy grail. We've just made it easier and easier for people to get here on MrMaple.
Another cool thing about Firefly, we mentioned it with Mila, but Firefly definitely a more narrow habit to it. This one is a more columnar tree. I love that it doesn't put on a lot of width to it. So much more skinny than most of the other Ghost Series types.
Yeah, I mean, it is easy to grow out in the landscape, that good upright habit. The intense color in the spring is exceptional, where you just have that purple-red border, that just amazing strong reticulation. But the summer flushes in the summer and late summer to early fall can just be like an intense purple red on the outside edge. I mean, it is amazing and truly a special tree.
All right, guys, coming here at number 23, we got Hot Tamale. This is Acer Olivianum Hot Tamale. Really a cool plant. Hot Tamale was found and introduced by Masayoshi Yano. It was named by us here at Mr. Maple, but it was actually found by the late, great Masayoshi Yano. Yano's son found this from an Acer Olivianum he has there at World Maple Park. He was collecting many seeds from this, looking for variations. Much like us, Yano was very excited about Acer Olivianum and how it can kind of push zones and be more heat tolerant. So we're doing a lot of development on that here. And Yano-san told us, if you're going to get this on a trade, please put a name on it. So we got his blessing to put the Hot Tamale name on this one. Love this one for that neon pink it gets. I mean, this one comes out with a pink spring display, kind of fades to more of an olive green with bright pink new growth. People have loved this one in hotter climates. This one's a very fast grower. I mean, it's almost akin to Hot Blonde for its growth rate, but this one is next level for durability. I've had customers growing this in extreme heats in California who are so impressed with its durability. They keep coming back for more of them. There's several in this guy's yard now. He's like, I need 3 or 4 of these because I've never had a tree perform like this in my dry heat. And Hot Tamale, exceptional for durability.
And when people say, we say, hey, Yano told us this, we've got our receipts. And we got messages specifically with Masayoshi Yano and everything there. He told us, go with Hot Tamale. So we were real excited about that. He did not want the name Nakahara Beni or Nakahara Beni A to be the name for this tree. He was very specific about that. And so if you see someone with that Nakahara Beni name, let them know the real name on that is Hot Tamale.
There is an A and a B. So I think most of the time Nakahara Beni gets out as B, as just Nakahara Beni blank. So you'll see Nakahara Beni sometimes in trade. It should have been Nakahara Beni B even from his labels. So to clear up any confusion, A has become Hot Sauce, B has become Hot Tamale. You'll typically see the color difference there as well. Was Nakahara Beni A, which became Hot Sauce, is much more of a bright red, where this is more of a pink fading to a green.
Yeah, thanks for clarifying that, Matt. A Hot Tamale, though, is an amazing tree. It's one of the trees that allowed us to continue to see the superpowers that Acer Oliveranum has, and allowed us to develop more of the Heat Seeker series when we realized how easy this Acer Oliveranum was for many people to grow out there in the garden, especially in those high heat areas. Definitely something you should definitely try growing, especially if you're in those zone 9s that are really high heat. We've had a lot of people who have grown Acer Oliveranum Hot Tamale in full sun in Texas, and it's possibly one of the most heat tolerant Acer Oliveranums I've ever seen, one of the most heat tolerant Japanese maple hybrids I've ever seen. And again, this was just a chance seedling off an Acer Oliveranum that Masayoshi Yano had. He planted there at World Maple Park, and it just had some really nice, almost like coral pink spring color to it, and then going to that nice olive green directly after. Good, vigorous, upright habit, makes a good upright tree. Out in sunlight, you're going to get more red fall colors in the fall. You may see some of our friend Augustin Coelho Vera. He's in the southwest of France in a more shaded location. You may get more yellows because more of those flavonoids are expressed in more shade.
All right, guys, coming here at number 22, we've got Acer Palmatum Mayday. This one's a holy grail for a lot of people. A lot of collectors are after this one. I know there was a little bit of a shortage on this one as Talon was starting to retire because we bought off all the stock plants before we bought the nursery. So we bought as many stock plants of Mayday as we could, and we were producing as many as we could, but there weren't as many out there. So it took us a while to kind of build up stock. We're starting to get really good numbers. I think the market really exceeded the level of production that could be reached by anybody at that point as well. So at the same time as we were buying the stock plants, the market went through the roof for this one. So people wanted every single Mayday they could get their hands on, and it became a lot harder to kind of meet that supply and demand. So a lot of people's holy grail is Mayday, bright yellow, really a fun Makawa variant. But yeah, we're trying to exceed that demand now. We're starting to get to the point where I think we can get this available more and more common.
Yeah, I mean, Mayday is one of those trees. I remember seeing it the very first time when I was at Buchholz, and he may have had a working name on it of Joy of May or something like that. And when I walked by and I saw Mayday in the garden, I saw it actually it was in a pot in the greenhouses. My jaw just dropped. I was like, what is this? I went through, photographed it, videotaped it. I was trying to get every document I could on it. And when you start seeing how Mayday gives you the just amazing sort of just light apricot colors and then goes to a nice blonde out there in the garden, you start to realize why Mayday is so special. When May's there, you've got that sort of blondish color out there in the landscape, slow growing. You put that in a Makawa garden, it has a unique color to its own. I mean, there's not another Makawa type that has a similar color out of all the Makawa variants that are out there. Mayday is beautiful, small, slow growing, and in that Makawa family, that is the hit right now, and it'll be the hit forever, to be honest, because it is so beautiful and classic.
Compact, dense, colorful, makes a great container plant. Just an all-around absolute winner. I mean, those Makawa variants, you can make a whole Holy Grails of the Makawa variants. This one's one of the most popular for sure. And one of the ones I think if you don't have in your collection, you got to have it. I mean, it's one of those great plants. It really accentuates what Makawa offspring can do, and one of the all-time best.
All right, guys, coming in here at number 21, we've got a name that Matt put on a Japanese maple at Buckholtz Nursery. We got Acer Palmatum, Daddy's Girl.
So is this an Area 51 introduction or a Buckholtz introduction?
Kind of a joint now since we own both.
It's Flora 1 to X, Area 51. We got the collab going on. So, I think we inspired Talon to name more trees after this because he was like, oh, crap, they're naming trees. I better put some more names on them. So when we bought Buckholtz Nursery, we were walking around looking at trees, and this was a tree that was in the seedling evaluation blocks. It was already in like a 20-gallon pot. This thing was already really old, 10 years plus, dense, very unique structure. The tree itself was about 7.5 feet, probably about 6 feet wide, dense and full. What blew me away about this one is it has the Orido Nishiki style variegation, that swirling, cyclical, white and pink variegation, but the foliage was so small. I mean, the foliage was almost Seiho level. Like, it has that small foliage. You know, most of the leaves on the entire plant, I would say, are quarter to nickel size foliage. So we even took some coins out to compare the foliage with this thing. Super tiny. So I think a lot of people are going to be excited about this one. Not only people that have daughters, but people who do bonsai, because it's going to give you the Orido Nishiki with small foliage, super next level, dense, compact, colorful. I named my first one after my first daughter, Pink Princess. So I had to get the other compact one named after my second daughter. So her Tinsley's tree is Daddy Girl. So if you know my girls who paint and color rocks here at our open houses, this one's for Tinsley.
Now, you mentioned that Talon's been putting names on things. Just throwing out there, if you listen to our top 25 podcast on Higashiyama styles, where we go through and discuss our favorite Higashiyama styles, and we show you a seedling from Makawa Yatabusa that is dense, upright, but has a tightly layering habit and has a Higashiyama style variegation. Talon recently put a name on that one, a Pacific Whitecap. So that one may eventually fall onto this Holy Grail list as well.
Pretty cool.
But Daddy's Girl is an amazing...
Giving that information out early, aren't you?
Yeah. He just grafted it, so it's kind of cool. You listen to our podcast, you get the inside information.
Pacific Whitecap. You heard it here first. Now, how many people know enough and are deep enough followers to know exactly which tree you're talking about right now?
I don't know. They may have to go back and listen to the top 25 Higashiyama styles and go look at the photo there. Super cool, super amazing, layering habit, but with that Higashiyama upright Higashiyama style variegation. Now, Daddy's Girl has that Orido Nishiki style variegation, but that smaller leaf. It's very unique in that form. There's not many other Higashiyama or Orido Nishiki styles that have that shorter, denser, compact nature, but with such small leaves. It's kind of interesting because both Pink Princess that you named after one of your daughters and Daddy's Girl both have really small leaves. And so
they're little girls.
Yeah, they're little girls.
Grow up, but they're little girls. So Daddy's Girl, fun one. You know, if you've got a little girl, it's your Daddy's Girl, the apple of your eye too. You might need a Daddy's Girl in your collection. So really cool things. I like to name trees after people without putting their names in it. So I have a lot of trees that mean a lot to me that are named for family members, friends, things like that aren't exactly named, you know, Amy. Hot Blondes for Amy, Daddy's Girls for Tinsley. So it doesn't exactly have their name in it, but it's something I think everybody can enjoy. More people have a Daddy's Girl, so I think it's fun to let that be her tree, but not specifically with her name on it.
I love how you put names on things, bro. That just makes it so fun and exciting for everybody. Everybody can enjoy it, but yet you're honoring your daughter. I love it.
So you got a little boy, so we need another one. So now we need a Daddy's Girl for you. Need another cousin. All right, put the pressure on here. All right, coming here at number 20. Another one we named here at our farm. Not out there yet. People don't know this one. This is the newest member of the Heat Seeker series. What we got, Tim?
Guys, next up, we've got Acer Oliveranum Heatwave. Now, Heatwave is a vigorous, upright, green Acer Oliveranum, leaves out late, and I mean, it is beautiful. It can handle the heat like no other. It's super heat tolerant, and it's also frost resistant because it leaves out late. So it's a lot of the traits we love about Japanese maples. We're looking to find more trees just like this one, and it's going to be more green, where Hot Blonde's more yellow. But this one has amazing fall colors of bright oranges and reds.
It's super durable. One of the superpowers this one has is not only being heat tolerant like Hot Blonde, this one is a greener version of Hot Blonde, but like Hot Blonde, this one leaves out late also. So it might have some hybridization going on there. It leaves out much later than other Acer Oliveranums. So that's one of the reasons this one has amazing cultivar status, is because it is one of the last trees to leaf out. Here in Western North Carolina, this tree actually leaves out for us after Emperor 1, which is a late leaf out tree. I think it's an amazing quality to have for an Acer Oliveranum because it makes it more cold tolerant, as well as having that exceptional heat tolerant durability. Now, this one being a green can handle a ton of sun. One of our most durable plants
Possibly more than Hot Blonde. So
possibly even more than Hot Blonde. Similar growth rate. So it gets out there fast, durable, great bold red fall color. We've really been impressed with this one. I think it's going to be a tree that can get out there and really give Osakazuki a run for its money as far as more durable, more heat tolerant, equally as cold tolerant. I mean, we're going to be testing this one in zone 5 for sure. We expect it to be a zone 5 plant. Right now, we're going to list it as 6 just because of Acer Oliveranum species. But with the hybridization we got going on here, I think this is going to have no problem pushing zones down to zone 5 like Osakazuki. And it's going to give Osakazuki a run for its money for speed of growth, durability, heat tolerance, cold tolerance, and fall color. So I think this is going to be a really dope plant for a lot of people. A lot of people are going to really enjoy this one in landscape. It's going to be a tree that can get out there like Sarah and provide a lot of protection for your other plants as well, but also giving you a neat ornamental quality and exceptional durability.
All right, guys, coming at number 19, we've got a Holy Grail that was a Holy Grail for me for years. It's still a Holy Grail for me every time I see it in the greenhouse. We've got Acer Palmatum Kagero.
This could also be on the list of trees I hate. I think it is. It's a Holy Grail, and I hate it. So there's a list of Japanese maples we hate, and some of them I love to hate. So this one's on that love-hate scale. I hate Kagero because it reverts. I love Kagero because it's amazing looking. So it's a cool looking plant. It's a yellow on green, even white at times on green variegation. It's akin to rainbow, where you have to prune it more for the color than you do the shape. So you kind of have to make some some consolations with this one. You have to make a couple cuts that might not be your normal cuts. You have to plan this one for the peak variegation, not the premium shape. So this tree is going to have to constantly be pruned to maintain variegation. If you leave it alone on its own, it might not stay variegated forever. That said, it's one of the most colorful, interesting plants out there.
And it's one of the most colorful, interesting plants out there, but it is less stable than rainbow, and it's one of the most reversion-prone Japanese maples out there as well.
I've got a few left.
And once it reverts, it doesn't come back, and unfortunately.
Right.
I mean, there's a chance that you may find that sport again, but it's very unlikely. Kagero is beautiful. There's nothing else quite like it on that big aminum leaf with that yellow splotched variegation. I really wish it was stable, because that would just be amazing and colorful. And it is amazing and colorful. I mean, at least out with a nice blush in the spring with that variegation, making something very unique out there in the garden. But it is a Holy Grail tree because it is difficult to produce, because you can graft 100 of them and maybe you get 3 or 4 off of variegated wood. So, I mean, it is a very difficult tree to produce in the trade. Most of what you see is sold in this Kagero in the nursery trade today is just a reversion on Kagero. It's not truly Kagero. It's hard to find a Kagero that's truly variegated. We've had to work very hard to find one that's variegated, and now it's very hard to keep that one here at Mr.
I don't
Maple.
think there's anybody else with it variegated in the U.S. So if you're listening to the U.S., I think if you buy this one, most of the times you're going to be disappointed. For the most part, you need to be able to see the plant when you get it, because you need to make sure it's actually variegated. So you won't ask for photos of the specific one. Not one we're going to be doing mass numbers of, but I do offer them from time to time.
If I do, it's probably going to be through eBay.
Right. It's a hard to offer plant because it takes a lot of shots to get a very little amount of good ones. So really cool, though. For that reason, it's a Holy Grail for the scarcity.
All right, guys, coming to number 18 on our top Holy Grail Japanese maples is Acer Palmatum Kryptonite. This is a unique sport that was found on Makawa Yatsubusa, so it has that tidy layering habit, but it has a unique variegation that's something, especially during the summer months, something akin to like Manu no Sato, where you have a margin variegation on the outside of a just chartreuse green on the outside with a deeper green on the inside. This gives something that's very special and different that I've never seen before in a Makawa Yatsubusa. And I mean, when we first saw this was one of our first Makawa variegated sports we'd ever seen. As Matt always says, it made them weak at the knees. We're big comic book fans. We're big Superman fans. And we had to put that name Kryptonite on it.
I mean, I think it's the best variegated Makawa. For me, it's the most refined. It's the most interesting. I love that it's a very detailed look to it. I think it just has that cultivar status. It has that sharpness to it. It's a good grower. It looks amazing in the ground. I've had good success with this one in a lot of sun, which is surprising. I like the overall structure of it, though, in color. I think it's just an absolute winner. And for that reason, it's highly sought after amongst collectors. Any of the Makawa types are highly sought after, making that one a holy grail plant for people for sure.
I think the spring color on it isn't as intense. You get more texture out of it because it has a unique leaf shape. When that summer, late spring to early summer starts to hit, that's when that variegation becomes more and more prominent, as most green on green variegations do. But the unique thing about Kryptonite 2 is the fall color is transformed. You normally don't have a fall color that transforms on a Makawa type, and you typically don't get those oranges to reds. You get more of the yellows to oranges.
Mm-hmm. A lot of yellow in this one.
Yeah, a lot more yellows on this in the fall. In the Makawa garden next to everything else, where you can really compare apples to apples. Definitely a lot more yellow in Kryptonite in the fall, which is something that's different and gives you some extra color in that fall garden.
All right, guys, coming here at number 17, we've got the rarest of the Ghost series. We've got Martha Ghost. Now, this one's super rare, very interesting plant. Talon once had a nursery manager named Martha. When she parted ways with the nursery, so did her tree. So it kind of disappeared from the trade a little bit. Martha Ghost wasn't one you saw very frequently. I was actually looking through some old Maple Society quarterlies. Peter Gregory actually sent us. I visited Peter Gregory in the UK. He sent us some old books. And Tim and I were like, what is going on here? There's a Ghost series by Talon Buchholz, and it lists Martha Ghost. So this tree had completely disappeared from the trade. Back in 2011 and 12, Tim and I were able to track down a wholesale distributor of Talon Buchholz that had this tree in their ground, talked them into selling us the plants. They dug it up and sold us the plants so we could get it back into the trade. And pretty excited to do so because it gave us the only source of Martha Ghost, got it back out there, and now this one's part of the Ghost series again. Talon didn't have any more in his collection, and it kind of disappeared. It was kind of one of those, retrack it down to make sure it stays in the trade deals. Been doing some more of that recently, so there'll be some more of that to come. But we love the hunt, so it's kind of that adventure side of it for us. We like to go and look for things that have disappeared and bring them back. And proud to say Martha Ghost starting to get back in some decent numbers.
Yeah, I mean, Martha Ghost is one of those trees that is truly different. It's slower growing than many of the rest of the Ghost series. It may be even slower growing than Baby Ghost. It is very beautiful. It's something, one of the closer things I've seen is something like an Olson's Frosted Strawberry, but it's very different. It's a little more intense on its colors.
Better shape, I would say.
Yeah, I'd say it's a much better shape than Olson's Frosted Strawberry. And I would say likely easier to grow as well. Martha Ghost, though, is just a beautiful tree, and its rarity is one of the things that made it hard for us to find. I mean, we had to do a lot of research to track this one down.
So really cool, rare plant. This is absolutely exceptional. Martha Ghost, good to have it back in the trade. So for that reason, it's one of the most highly sought after ones. A lot of people need this one to complete that original Ghost series. And for that reason, it's got to be on our Holy Grail list.
All right, guys, coming in at number 16 on our top 75 Holy Grail Japanese Maples is a tree that we just dropped on a 10 at 10 recently. We're talking about Acer palmatum Naniwa Beni.
This thing is nuts. I love this plant. For me, this one's right up there. It's on that max production list. As many as you can do, always do it. I love the colors. This one, for me, I set aside with Mila as one of those, just the best of that category, right? It's got the best colors of what it does. This one's a red with a yellow eye. I would put it again in that Shin Desojo family of like Coralinium. Like they put that into a family now. And it's unbeatable. For what it does, it's the best at it.
Yeah, I mean, it is unreal on its colors. It's one of the most intense, and not only in the spring flush, but in that summer flush as well. The summer flush is just as intense as the spring, and you have phenomenal fall colors. It's one of the brightest, and it lasts for a long time on that spring color. To me, Naniwa Beni is a champion among those Coriolanum groups. It's one of those trees that you put out there to really add something special in the landscape. If you want to have the most intense and longest lasting of that color in the spring, Naniwa Beni, that's your champion.
JD Vertreed had his perfect trifecta, and he went for fall color. Well, I'll go for the perfect spring color trifecta here, because this is Matt's perfect spring color trifecta. I would go with Mila, Naniwa Beni, and Marmalade. I think those three are the perfect spring color trifecta. For me, those are each like the most premium of that version color-wise. Love it. That's high praise for Naniwa Beni, but I absolutely love it.
See, if I did that, I would have to change out Mila. Even though I love Mila, I'd do Naniwa Beni. I would do, just for the intensity of the colors, I'd do Marmalade, and then I'd do a yellow, like a pure yellow. I don't know exactly what, but I'd have to do something like a summer gold or something just to get some
Of course you do summer gold. Tim's Holy Grail, number one, summer gold.
But that'd be a pretty cool trifecta. I like what you're going with, though. Trifecta of spring color. That's some fun, interesting stuff right there. Coming in at number 15, the Holy Grail for a lot of people. This is one that people line the gates at our open houses. Here at MrMaple.com, we have a few open houses a year. We've got one coming up October 25th this year of 2025. We typically have one more Memorial Day and Labor Day. But, when we started dropping this, we had people lined up to the gates. And this is a Holy Grail for a lot of people, and a lot of people now have this. We're talking about Acer Palmatum Snow Kitten.
Yeah, this one's been around. Cool plant. You'll see it sometimes incorrectly listed as Yamayuki and Yukiyama. It doesn't really mean as much. We've had Japanese translators go through that, and it's kind of a misnomer.
Pile of snow.
Right. Doesn't really mean anything. The original one was listed as Elmer in email, but that's not the right name, so we don't want to get out there as Elmer. So even though Elmer's funny, guys, not really the right name. When I talked to the guy who actually sold the rights to this tree, he says the correct name is Snow Kitten. So I'll go with him on that. Great plant, very unique, swirling variegation. As the story goes, this one was at Larry Stanley's place, and the greenhouse is collapsed in the snow, and the one shoot sticking up out of the greenhouse hole was this variegated piece off of Makawa. And Larry and the late Fred Hooks kind of saw the sport there. Fred was like, I got to buy this from you. He kept just kind of bribing Larry until he finally got his hands on this one. And according to Larry, I've had different stories from him, Larry. But according to Larry, the right name should be Snow Kitten on this one. Really cool, variegated Makawa. And I think one of those holy grails for a lot of people because it's so unique, so variegated, so different.
And a few people have tried to rename it with Yukiyama or Yamayuki, which they thought meant like snow on the mountain kind of thing. But according to most people who speak Japanese, that really just means like pile of snow, but not even how the Japanese would say that. Mm-hmm. And so it's not a good name to begin with.
Kind of a misnomer.
Yeah. But an amazing Makawa type. It's got that Arita no Nishiki style variegation on that Makawa Yatabusa tightly layering habit. It's really beautiful. It's really special. I do recommend pruning this to promote more variegation. We have full videos on the Mr. Maple YouTube show. Go make sure you're subscribed over there. We put out daily content all about Japanese maples. But in this particular video, we go through and talk about how to prune Arita no Nishiki style variegations to promote the most variegation. That's true with this dwarf as well. And it being a dwarf, you're going to maybe avoid pruning it as much because you're like, it doesn't have much growth. But without pruning it, you don't promote growth. It actually promotes growth by pruning, and it promotes variegation as well. It's a nice, gentle, positive stress that you can give Snow Kitten to really give it some amazing variegated flushes. Don't overlook pruning it. The best variegated Snow Kittens are typically found in nurseries where we're grafting off of them. And when we're grafting, we're pruning on it. And that means that we're pruning the hound out of it, and it promotes a lot of growth. And it also gives you a lot of great white and pink variegation on this selection. So make sure you prune your Snow Kittens. My words of wisdom on Snow Kitten. The other thing is don't overwater. Often people overwater. This is a dwarf. It's variegated. It needs less water than even the dwarfs because it is variegated. So keep that in mind.
All right, guys, coming here at number 14, one of my favorite new Talon Buckholz introductions. We've got Acer palmatum Marmalade. Really a cool plant. Marmalade was a seedling found at Buckholz Nursery by Talon Buckholz. This is a seedling that was found under a huge orange dream, like a 50-year-old orange dream. And it was his best seedling under that tree. He's been looking at seeds through there for years and years and years. This one had some of the best spring colors of anything I've ever seen. There is another introduction out there by some of our friends named Orange Marmalade. Not the same plant.
Yeah.
So to be clear, that one was a seedling from Katsura. Not the same plant at all. I'd have to compare those two. But Marmalade, for me, one of the most premium colored plants out there.
Yeah, I mean, Marmalade is extremely beautiful. It's one of those Japanese maples that gives you just amazing spring color. And then in the summer months, it has flushes that are just outstanding and out of this world. It's some of the prettiest colors on the summer flushes of just that orange marmalade-like color that really give this tree its name. And this tree got its name by Haruko Buckholz, Talon's wife. It's one of the prettiest Japanese maples I've ever seen in my life. And it has quickly become one of those sought-after Japanese maples that everybody's after because it looks good in the spring, it looks good in the summer. Scott from Georgia was here at our last open house. He was talking about how he had his marmalade he got from us last fall, and he had it in full sun in northwest Georgia, and it was doing well, which is impressive because this is a seedling from Orange Dream, being able to handle some of that Georgia heat, that high humidity in the south. That's pretty impressive for Marmalade, and I look forward to learning more about what this tree can do out there in the landscape.
Absolutely love it. Again, it's in my spring trifecta, which is better than Tim's fake spring trifecta he tried to drop on us. Coming here at number 13, guys, we've got Acer palmatum Fujinami nishiki. So another one that's on my top hated list. That is let that hate out of your heart. I do hate this one because like
Kagero, I love it too.
I know, but much like Kagero, this one extremely reverts. This is probably the most dramatic of the darkest color to the pink color variation. This is like a black Japanese maple with pink variegation in it. It's super next level. I love the color. I have a few still around the farm that are variegated. I give up on this tree, and then about every 5 years I go, I should probably graft that. And then I hate the tree for 5 years. And then after 5 years has passed, I've got amnesia enough. Like, I've forgotten how much I hate this plant. And I go, I should get back in on this. Against my better judgment, I should do more of these. And I'll do some more. So it took us a long time to track down truly variegated Fujinami nishiki. Absolutely a beautiful plant. Again, it requires pruning it just for the color. Don't get this tree unless you're willing to prune it forever because it's going to be a headache. You forget it 1 year and now you've got half a tree that's all dark red and some little pink branches on one side. You have to shape this one with its color. Absolutely love it though. It is a holy grail for so many people because of its novelty and its rarity in the trade. Again, a headache to produce. Like if I graft a bunch of these, I may only get a few. So it's not something we're ever going to mass produce here. We will offer it from time to time again. Again, I get that amnesia ever so often. And I go back like a fool. I go right back to loving Fujinami nishiki, even though I know it's going to break my heart.
Yeah, found by Mr. Fujinami in Japan. It's a variegation that I haven't seen before. The intensity of this, of just that red, bright red on dark red, is very attractive. It's one of those trees that you're just drawn to, and it has that amenum style leaf, almost like a blood good style leaf, which is just beautiful whenever you find it variegated. It's heavily sought after. People have known this by name for a few years. We've offered it a few times. There's a few customers of ours that can actually show some variegated ones of these, but it's one that is unstable. It's beautiful, but it's unstable, and it's on that holy grail because everybody wants it, but it's
got
hard
the hot
to
to
get.
crazy ratio going through the roof. You know the hot to crazy ratio? It's
Yeah.
like the hot to crazy ratio here. Well, this one's crazy is at peak, but its hotness is also at peak.
It's almost worth it.
Almost worth it. I don't know.
But sometimes the craziness just goes a little bit too off the charts.
Ratio, the hot to trouble. This one's high maintenance for sure. I don't know that it's worth getting into a relationship with.
All right, guys. Coming to number 12, on our top Holy Grail Japanese maples. You'd be surprised that this one's coming number 12. We're talking about Acer palmatum Red Panda.
I think this would be higher, except we've released a bunch of them. So a lot of people have got their Holy Grail met on this one. We've sold over 1,000 of these already. Acer palmatum Red Panda, very popular plant. This is our best red Makawa type. Maybe still the most hyped up plant on this entire list. I mean, I could go ahead and make a case for it being number 1 here, because as far as the hype factor goes, you guys took this one and went crazy with it. I mean, we can be accused of a little bit of hype building on this one, but you guys took it through the roof. Like, we put it in a video, and then it just went to an astronomical level.
We put it in a video on potting up Japanese maples to the appropriate container size. Mm-hmm. And we showed
happened to just be beside it. Like, it just happened to be the next liner getting potted up. I didn't go find it. They were literally, I was like, hey guys, give me a second to pot here. They moved aside. That was what was on the trailer. And I'm like, hey, we'll tell them about this one. This one's Red Panda we're working on. Woo! Off to the races, right?
Yeah, it's crazy how quickly the hype went out on Red Panda and how much the hype train just went rolling. It is, though, it's the best red Makawa out there. It holds its color longer throughout the season. It's more intense, and the new growth flushes in the summer are some of the best of any of the Makawa types. And so
I think it's worth the hype.
I don't know if it could ever live up to the early hype.
I get people all the time. They're telling me, hey, look at this thing in my summer garden. Look at the red it has on it. Look at the new growth on this. Look at how good of a grower it is. I have empirical evidence of people telling me all the time, I've never had another Makawa type perform in my garden like this. This is the best one.
Yeah, I mean, if you put out it against any other red Makawa, you notice a stark difference. You notice the summer flushes are amazing. You notice the intensity is better on Red Panda and it holds longer throughout the season. So Red Panda, it's the best that's out there. I mean, we went through thousands of red Makawa seedlings to select Red Panda and make it something special. And that's what we try to do with our introductions. Evaluate them against the most the things that are very similar to it, the most similar to it, and see how it's truly different. Red Panda stood out from the crowd of thousands and thousands of red Makawa seedlings.
As a wise Ric Flair once said, to be the man, you got to beat the man. And nobody beat Red Panda for us. It was undefeated. It just kept winning, kept being the top choice. So I could put that at number 1 because I think that would be a lot of people's grail on this list. We wanted to give you some new things on here. It ends up at a lot on number 1 on our list. So we did kind of downrate it just because we have met those demands. I think we've sold a lot of these to people. So it is out there. Still a lot of people's Holy Grail still coming back to Mr. Maple, one of our few patented plants ever. One will continue to produce in high numbers too.
Guys, next up we have Acer Oliveranum Hot Rod. This is a selection that is an Acer Oliveranum, part of our Heat Seeker series, but it's very unique. The thing that makes Hot Rod very special is it has Bihu yellow-like bark.
Yeah, this one is Acer Oliveranum subspecies formosanum. That was the former name. Now they call it Acer seriolatum a lot. No matter what you call this one, it is extremely heat tolerant. We used to sell a lot of those on Mr. Maple as just the ultimate heat tolerant maple. So we would sell seedlings of these. This one is one with yellow Bihu-like bark. What makes this one even crazier, I find, is that in cooler springs, this one can leaf out red, very briefly red, but it can leaf out a blood red with yellow stemming on it, which is crazy. You don't get that as much every season. It does go to more of an olive color, which Oliveranum's famous for. But I've had seasons, especially at Buckholt's Nursery, where this thing is fiery red with yellow bark exhibited, which is just so crazy. Really an interesting plant. This one's going to be only down to zone 7. So it's 7 through 9. We're not rating this one for zone 6 yet, although we are doing some trials in zone 6 on this one. A little less cold hardy than some of the other heat seekers we're doing.
Yeah, I mean, it is beautiful. It is fast grower. It's one of those trees that gives you some really nice winter interest out there in the landscape. It's going to give you that heat tolerance that Acer Oliveranum is famous for, but that yellow bark that Bihu is famous for. So you get that combination that it's just unreal in the winter garden. For people who are in high heat areas, this is going to be a game changer. This is another addition to that Heat Seeker series to push maples into hotter zones. Everything we're talking about when we talk about hardiness zones is typically your cold hardiness zone, zones 5 through 9. When we're talking about heat hardiness, that's a whole nother thing. That's the heat index level. And this pushes that heat index more than many of the other Japanese maples, your Acer palmatums.
All right, guys, on the Holy Grail hype train, number 10, we've got Red Jaguar. So a lot of people are waiting on this one from Mr. Maple. It's coming. We've offered it before. In fact, we were the ones that put the trade name on this one. It came from a friend of mine. We just had it as Jason's Variegated originally. So we actually ended up kind of putting that name Red Jaguar on it, which I think helped its popularity, really helped it stick, get out there. This one is one that can get this almost lightning-like variegation in it. It's really cool. I really enjoy the variegation on this one.
I like how you described it as lightning because it looks like, if you look at a leaf, it's red, but it looks like white
streaks.
White and pink lightnings just streak throughout the leaf. It's like a spider-like web of lightning that's all across the leaf. Something that's really special and different and unique when it comes to Japanese maples. I haven't seen many other selections similar to this. It stands in its own on its uniqueness, and sometimes the summer flushes can be more intense than the spring.
Absolutely a really fun plant. I mean, I've had white new growth on this by the end of the season some year. One we're producing. I'm testing the waters on this one. We'll see how many we go big on this one, but I'm liking it so far. We're getting our production back up on this one a good bit. Really a nice plant. All right, coming here at number 9, we've got Acer pubipalmatum Flying Daggers.
Now, Flying Daggers is an Acer pubipalmatum selection that was selected for us as a seedling we collected from seed the same time we collected Hot Blonde.
Same day.
And this is an Acer pubipalmatum that when we had it as a young seedling, it looked like it was going to be something akin to Scolopendrofolium or Beni Otaki, but in a green Acer pubipalmatum. Now, pubipalmatum itself is a very drought-resistant species. That's its superpower whenever it comes to that section palmata. It's closely related to your Japanese maple, your Acer palmatum. It's from China, and it's very rare to see it on the trade. It has some amazing fall color, something akin of Osakazuki. And we found this, and we're like, this is really neat. Well, Talon Buchholz came to our nursery and visited and started taking photos of it, and it's like, this is something really amazing.
When he got fired up, we got more fired up. We already had it set aside to name, but when Talon got super fired up, we're like, oh yeah. So we started grafting it. We started selling a bunch of them off, and
then we had a horrible freeze that actually knocked out our stock plant we had in the ground. And we'd only kept one stock plant, and we've quickly learned that that's a major mistake. This was our original Magic Moon where we sold off our plants, killed off our stock plant, and we'd lost it. Some of our customers had it, and Talon Buchholz had it. We had traced it back from one of our customers and started growing it again. And then we bought Buchholz Nursery and got one of the original stock plants back. The unique thing is, as this tree develops, it wasn't what we had originally thought. We had originally thought that it was going to be more of that lunar lobum style leaf.
Foliage interest.
Yeah, foliage interest. But we thought it was likely going to be an upright tree. Mm-hmm. It turns out it's a Makawa type, guys. I mean, how much cooler is that?
It's the first ever dwarf pubipalmatum selection. So there's not another pubipalmatum selection that's dwarf. This one isn't the tight internoting you see with Makawa, but it's so dwarfing that the layers develop. So as you see this tree when it's young, you would expect it to be more of a Beni Otaki shape. After you see this tree, after it's densened up, you see a 15-year-old one of these or a 10-year-old one of these, that layering effect gets really tight. The internode isn't as tight as Makawa, but it certainly develops to that same structure. So you get a Makawa-like shape. I didn't even know that when we found it. I mean, we picked it for the foliage. Over time, though, they've all started to develop this more dense trait that gives them a Makawa-like habit. Absolutely love this one. Super cool plant. Flying Daggers, great fall color. I mean, intense fall color on this one. Kind of that interesting olive green shade as well. Really unique plant. Flying Daggers coming back to Mr. Maple. We love that one. We're going to be producing a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, we've now made it a priority in production. When we bought Buchholz, they actually had the original Flying Daggers tagged like it was going to be selling going out. And I said, well, as part of this purchase, we're going to have to cancel this one tree on the order. Right. I said, I'm sorry, we'll let those people know that we'll hook them up with some other stuff. But unfortunately, that's
got to get back into production.
It's got to stay here. And so
going in the ground right now, by the way, like probably this week at Buchholz Nursery.
That's awesome.
Going to be planted near the big red panda out there at Buchholz Nursery.
Snap.
So,
all right, guys, coming at number 8, we went from one tree that was collected on the same day as this tree. We're talking about Hot Blonde. Acer oliveranum hot blonde, a tree that Matt spotted in our seedling evaluations as a seed and said, Tim, I think this thing's really got some good yellow color.
We were blown away by this. There were about 25 seedlings that had yellow chances, and then Tim and I kept tagging them until we got to the very best one. I think the one we identified right out the gate was the best one still because it kept that trait, kept getting a little bit of that pink border to it, kept having the best fall color. But there was a selection process. Several hundred Acer oliveranums went through. The best 25, the best yellow 25 kind of made it to the top. And then we looked at what leafed out late. We mentioned that with the Heatwave, but this one leafed out late. The qualities were there that we were looking for. We've offered this one a ton. I mean, we've put this one on sale on Mr. Maple, but I still think it has to be in that Holy Grail listing because this is a yellow that can handle sun. It grows like a son of a gun too. It's a yellow that takes off. I mean, this is one that can grow 1.5 feet a year. So for a lot of people that are looking for a tree that's going to get big, Hot Blonde is exactly that. Super durable, heat tolerant, cold tolerant. I think it's probably the best tree we're ever going to name.
Yeah, I mean, it is amazing in its color. It's amazing in its vigor. It's amazing in its fall color. It's amazing in its heat tolerance. And the fact that it's yellow, guys, that just tops it off. It's one of those trees that adds that yellow color that just brightens up the landscape and garden. And it's more heat tolerant than almost any other tree I've seen. Fall color, I would say rivals Osakazuki. All the way around, this is a winner. And it's a tree that I think everybody has to have. Early on, we started to realize that it was going to be very popular with our customers because we would have appointments. People would come visit the nursery, and they would pick out a hot blonde after I told them about it. They would take it home. 3-4 weeks later, they'd come back and they'd say, I'd like 2 or 3 more hot blondes. And then they would start planting those around their garden. And we started realizing there's something really special about this tree that connects with people. They enjoy its colors. They enjoy its vigor. A lot of people would get it and they would come back and they'd say, it's grown 2 feet since I planted it. It's only been a few weeks.
I had a lot of people at the time. We've been on this one for a while. I had a lot of people at the time in the industry that told me you need to patent this one. And we probably should have. It's the honest answer because it's awesome. I had a lot of people, a lot of nurserymen that came to me and they were like, no, this is next level enough. I think at the time, Tim and I needed to sell. We had so many of them built up. We had to actually sell the plants because we had so many of them. That we were dependent on selling our inventory to feed ourselves. So we couldn't wait on a patent, but probably should have patented that one.
Guys, coming to number 7, we've got an amazing new selection that is quickly becoming one of the Holy Grail Japanese maples.
Ghost Cascade. Maybe Talon's latest one now. He did name that Pacific one you were just saying, but this would be one of his last ones he's named there at Buckholt's Nursery. Talon saw this one. I don't even know we owned it for a year and a half.
Yeah,
I come and found this one a year and a half after owning Buckholt's. Talon's like, oh, by the way, here's this.
I named it last week. It's been at the nursery. You've walked by it 100 times.
Incredible weeping Jiro Shidari type shape to this Ghost series plant. This one's gonna have reticulation and cascading foliage. So absolutely next level. Absolutely next level. Game changer. If you go watch our YouTube channel, you'll find the most outrageous trees at Buckholt's. We've done 3 series of that. I literally filmed the reaction to that one a day after seeing it for the first time. One of my all-time favorite plants.
It is beautiful. It is amazing. I just couldn't believe how cascading it was for a ghost type. I mean, we've got some semi-pendulous selections out there where the branches sort of semi-cascade. This one just sort of weeps, and it makes it really special and different. And the newest member of like a ghost-like series, but then it starts with ghost rather than ends with ghost.
We'll see where it falls. All right, guys, coming in here at number 6, we've got Acer palmatum Taimen nishiki. That's Taimen. This one is weird. Again, another one I love-hate. It's got to be on the Holy Grail list because everybody asks for this one continuously. It's on everybody's want list. Hard to grow. It's tricky, and it's tricky to keep it from reverting. So this one's like the scarcity level definitely boosts this one up. I have one in the ground at my house. It's tiny because I chop it back constantly. This one is kind of a pink on plum, and you get like a really weird pink as well.
Yeah, that pink on plum is amazing. More of that pink on plum color is right after the first flush of spring. When it first leaves out, you may get more cherry red, with almost like a Shinda Sojo red.
It's wild.
And then that pink on plum is right after that, and it is crazy on its variegation. It's heavily unstable, just like Fujinami nishiki. I would consider it in that unstableness of Kagero, Fujinami nishiki, and now Taimen nishiki.
I wish it was stable.
And the original tree, this is one that was selected and found by Tsukasa Maple in Japan. It is amazing. It is beautiful. It is one of those trees. I just wish it was more stable. I mean, if this thing was as stable as Lillian's Jewel, it would be
top production plant.
Yeah, top production plant. It's one of those trees we have to continue on, but it's one I don't know if I will ever try to get in mass production because it is so unstable.
I love it and I hate it. It's a fun one, but like I said, every few years I get fooled back into loving it again. All right, y'all, coming in here at number 5, we've got Acer Japonica Maiku Nishiki. Now, I just mentioned those videos, those most outrageous at Buckholz. This one was in the first video, it was the bonus number 6 on the most outrageous at Buckholz. Absolutely love this plant. It is a reticulated Maiku Jaku. So if you see Maiku Jaku, it has foliage shaped like that, but it has reticulated variegation that even shows up in the fall color. I think it's one of the most next level plants I've ever seen.
Yeah, I mean, it has that leaf like the dancing peacock that everybody loves, but then you get variegation on top of that. It's a slow grower. The tree at Buckholz is very slow growing. It doesn't put on much signwood. It's one that's going to be hard to ever get in good production. We're producing it as fast as we can here at Mr. Maple, but it is a slow grower. The variegation makes it slow. Being a Japonicum, it's slow.
Leaves out white.
It leaves out white, so there's not much chlorophyll to the leaf to get this tree to actually grow. It is very special and unique, and there's nothing else like it.
Absolutely love it. In production, though, we're going to have it. We'll have it again for sure. So, or for the first time. So that one's coming. Number 4, I like this one a lot, and I think we're going to be putting some numbers out on this one. That's Acer palmatum Beni ukigumo. One we've been working on for a while. This was found by a friend of ours in a park in Pennsylvania as a seedling. Really a cool, unique plant. This one has a bright red, pink, frosted look to an ukigumo style variegation.
One that would be the closest thing to this that people think, hey, and sometimes get confused with this, is Red Jaguar. And while the two may look similar from a distance, up close they're very different. Red Jaguar has that lightning-like effect across the leaf, where Beni ukigumo has that just amazing sand dust variegation that reminds you of ukigumo. And from a distance, they can look similar. Up close, very different trees. Beni ukigumo, though, may be a champion to me. It's one of the more intense colors in the spring and intense during those summer flushes.
I've had both for over 10 years now, and I think I like Beni ukigumo slightly better. I mean, they're both really cool, but if I were picking between the two, I think Beni ukigumo might be the better overall plant. Again, I don't really know yet. Still the jury's out, but I think it's the better overall plant. I love the color on it. I think it's next level. I love the consistency on it. And Beni ukigumo. Sometimes it's sold as Red ukigumo, which I think Beni's the better name on that one. So,
yeah, I think Beni ukigumo was the original name on it. So that's what I'd stick with. Guys, coming at number 3 on the Holy Grail Japanese Maples. This is a tree Talon Buckholz had for years and years in his greenhouses. And, you know, the original tree is in like a 10-gallon, maybe 15-gallon now. And it's like 3 foot by 3 foot. And we're talking, it's like 20 years old. We're talking about Acer palmatum Bloody Talons.
I mean, this is a lot of people's number 1 Holy Grail. It's rare. It's slow growing. It's weird. It's one of the funkiest plants you'll ever see. Talon, legendary nurseryman. So it kind of has his signature on it there with Talon Buckholz, Bloody Talons. I've had people ask for Bloody Buckholz, which Talon thinks is the funniest thing that's ever happened when they say they want a Bloody Buckholz. He's like, I don't want that at all. I want a Bloody Talons. Talon gets a good laugh out of that, though. Still working at Buckholz Nursery, by the way. Talon's out there every week cutting signwood with us, so still pretty active there. Still got the Michael Jordan Maples out there making selections and doing stuff at Buckholz. So Bloody Talons, though, probably one of his most highly sought-after introductions of all time. A lot of people's Holy Grail. Dwarf, compact, interesting, weird, outside the box, collector piece for sure. That convex foliage kind of gets a little bit of that red on green, so it looks like talons. It looks like the talons maybe of an eagle that's grabbed something, so it does have that bloody talon effect to it.
And the original tree at Buckholz is a seedling. It's not grafted, and the grafts have almost caught up to it. It was a chance seedling from Amber Ghost.
Now, some years, this year specifically, you could really see the reticulation in them. I mean, you could see that influence on it. I've always heard that, and I've always thought, yeah, okay. But this year, you could actually see that mother plant influence on it.
And it's a chance seedling from Amber Ghost. And so you actually see some of that reticulation in there. But the fact that it has that convex foliage often makes us wonder, does it have some Shirasanum influence? Often, many of the items that have that convex foliage are considered hybrids with Acer Shirasanum. A unique thing is Bloody Talons is a later one to leaf, which actually could show some of that Shirasanum parentage as well. Some of the trees like Shirasanum palmettifolium, 2 items even like Peve Starfish may actually, Esfeld Nursery said a lot of those Cora said that a lot of those do show that Shirasanum parentage. Guys, we may have a Shirasanum hybrid with a reticulated style here, and we ended up with a dwarf. I mean, you kind of think about Amber Ghost X Mr. Sun. I mean,
it gives you those vibes.
It gives you those vibes with more amazing colors to it. And one of the unique things about this is late into the season, like early summer, you start to get some fall color on the tipping, which gives it that Bloody Talon-like effect.
Really good fall color, too. I mean, this one gets to a neon red in the fall.
It is special. It is unique. It is a game changer when it comes to collector plants. We were always told in the industry as we were growing up, they said, "Oh, that's a collector plant. Nobody wants it."
Right. We're like, we're run to the collector plant.
Like, that's what everybody wants.
Yeah, everybody's like, don't do that. That's just a collector plant. Like,
and so this is a collector plant. It isn't for the faint of heart. It isn't for someone who's new into Japanese maples. If you are new into Japanese maples and this is your first Japanese maple you get, I can't wait to see your collection one day.
Right.
Because that's like starting out with the primo. But super slow growing, really special, and really dwarf.
All right, coming in here at number 2, we've got Acer palmatum Pandemonium. Pandemonium is a variegated sport off the cultivar Red Panda. It was on the original seedling. I've told the heartbreaking story that the original seedling did get weed-eated in my garden. It was killed by a landscaper who was weeding in my garden. But the original Pandemonium had this one section of variegation in it. We got it grafted, and that sport became Pandemonium. So we're grafting these now. They're in production. Very slow on production for this because we're only grafting from the one best graft of this source variegation. So we identified the very best form of it, and then all production goes through that. That way we only get the choicest variegated red pandas. It does change the leaf completely. You get a more elongated leaf on that variegation, so it kind of has a weird morph to it where you don't get the same size shape that you would get typically on a regular red panda foliage. Really weird one, really cool. Definitely on a lot of people's holy grail list that we already have a variegated form of one of our most popular trees, red panda.
I mean, I seem to think of it like Beni Kamachi and Beni Fushigi are sports on the cultivar Beni Mako. Now, when you look at red panda, this is a similar sport on a Makawa type, where you get that morphed leaf, you get some intense variegation that's just beautiful, but you get that tightly layering habit everybody loves with red panda and the color you love with red panda. Game changer for sure. One of the most intense variegations I've seen, and one of the most intense reds. So it's everything we love about red panda, but you add something else crazy to it. That makes it even more holy grail.
All right, guys, coming here at number 1, make sure to like and subscribe to the Mr. Maple Show on YouTube, as well as giving us a 5-star review on your favorite podcast platform. We're on all major podcast platforms. What do we got at number 1, Tim?
Guys, coming to number 1 on the top Holy Grail Japanese Maples, we've got a Holy Grail Japanese Maple, which was our first video of most outrageous trees at Buckholtz Nursery. It's a tree that I fell in love with years ago. We're talking about Acer palmatum Pinky.
This one's weird. It has to have a rootstock to feed it. Again, Holy Grail for its scarcity, Holy Grail for its color. Makawa types are they're some of the most popular plants out there. This one of the weirdest of all the Makawa types. You actually have to have this one grafted into something that can provide chlorophyll for it to live. So you can't put Pinky on its own roots. At least we haven't done that yet. You have to have Pinky with something that can feed it and have that symbiotic relationship with it. We are producing this one at Buckholtz again, and we're grafting them into Makawa seedlings. So you have that density of a Makawa Yatsubusa with Pinky going on that. The very first Pinky that ever left Buckholtz Farm Talon gifted to us many years ago. So we did get that here at Mr. Maple before buying Buckholtz Nursery. Unfortunately, somebody removed the pinky part thinking that it was the rootstock. So this one's a tricky one to grow. That's happened a few times at Buckholtz Nursery as well before we purchased it. So it's a tricky one to grow. It's a tricky one to implement into a production scale. Our goal is to get this one into some Makawa seedlings that have that same density to them so that collectors can buy this one and have it within a Makawa seedling.
When we saw the original pinky, it is a sport that happened on a Makawa seedling itself. And I remember just gooing and gawing over this whenever I went and saw.
You really goo and gaw?
I did. Whenever I went and saw, the first time I saw Mayday, the first time my first trip to Buckholtz, walking around, this was one of the trees that I just blew my mind. I was like, this is insane. You've got this very, just completely pink and white sport on a Makawa Yatsubusa. That's unreal. And so our goal is to give you a similar effect by grafting it to Makawa Yatsubusa. One of our hardest problems we had with it when we had it grafted to a regular Acer palmatum rootstock is that most of the energy would go towards the rootstock. And the rootstock, as we were trimming it back so it didn't take over and grow so much, would actually grow thicker at the base than the pinky would grow out. And so it was almost getting engulfed by the rootstock. By grafting it to a Makawa Yatsubusa, we're hoping that we can find a way to get this tree into production and have that same effect where you can enjoy a variegated sport on the side of a Makawa Yatsubusa.
Slow growing for sure. Really unique. I think you guys are going to love this when we finally get it out there. It does take a lot of time, and therefore it becomes a holy grail for a lot of people for that pink coloration. Guys, if you like this kind of list, if you like this kind of stuff, make sure to support us by shopping on MrMaple.com. That's the best way to support the content we create here. We're always putting out new gardening content here on our podcast and the Mr. Maple Show.
Y'all, thanks for joining in today. Take care.
God bless.
And have a great day.